Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Andrea and today we are going to be talking about how to know if a school is reliable, especially if you're planning to work abroad. Let's go. Now, the first thing that I'm gonna say is basically you do have to do your own research, but there are different ways that and different websites that you can use in order to find out whether working for a school is going to be a good experience or a bad experience. But you do have to bear in mind that these people are talking from their experience, which may be different than yours. For example, I have had wonderful experiences with some schools, and some of my colleagues have had the worst experiences with the same schools. So again, you will have to find out for yourself, but there are a few ways of knowing if a language school is actually worth it or not. Now, let's talk about the first one, Glassdoor. So Glassdoor is a website that basically allows different companies, not just language schools, but different companies, like post jobs and contact applicants, and of course for applicants to apply to these different jobs. But it also allows people to review these companies. So if you try to find the company on Glassdoor, you will be able to know whether or not they are a good or bad language school. And again, you do have to be careful because sometimes, companies cannot delete reviews. But let's just say that if you have had a bad experience with someone, it's very unlikely that they are gonna write like a bad review. There are some, but just take into account that, like, more often than not, there'll be more good reviews than bad reviews, but do not overlook the bad reviews. Now, that's the first one. The second one would be Indeed. More often than not, if you try to search the company's name, you may find that there are different people who have had different experiences. Now, the second one would be LinkedIn. Now, there are two ways, I would say, of finding out whether a company can be like a good place to work or not. The first one is to use the search bar to find posts made by people who may have commented about working in a specific place. Because more often than not, workers use LinkedIn as a way of either praising a company or as a way of making something known. Whether this is a good or a bad thing. And you will be able to find probably someone who has had either a good experience working in a place or a bad experience, and it's up to you. Now, the second way of knowing already on LinkedIn is to find out people who have worked in that place. More often than not, if you look for the company, you are able to know who is employed at that place. And then you can either connect with them and of course chat, and they can tell you all about their experience. However, I do have to say that if they are working at that place, it's highly unlikely that they're gonna speak ill about the place that they work. So you also have to be really careful. Just try to read between the lines. And of course, I'm not saying that they will always reply, but I am saying that this is something that you can also do. Message the people who are already working there. Now, the third way of knowing if a school is good or not is through Facebook. And I actually love Facebook because depending on the group, because I'm gonna talk about Facebook groups, you will be able to get really good comments, and you will be able to read about like people's experiences, and more often than not, they are open to having a conversation with you as opposed to LinkedIn. Now, for example, I am part of a group that's basically English language teachers in Japan. I've been part of it for like 2 years already, And more often than not, there are teachers there who ask people for their opinion on certain language schools because they are either in the interview process or because they are about to accept a job offer. And again, many people know about this because you, more often than not, if you're planning to go abroad and you are in these Facebook groups like English teachers in Mexico, English teachers in Argentina, English teachers in Japan, English teachers in Vietnam, English teachers, and then you just find the country that you want to apply to, you will find that many people have either gone through the same process with the same school or may know someone who has, or, and this is quite common, especially within the ELT community, they have heard rumors, either good rumors or bad rumors, and they can tell you all about it. And then of course you can make up your mind and then choose whether or not you like to work for them. But Facebook groups, and depending on the Facebook group, you will find people who will give you their opinion. Now, this is also a double-edged sword because I have also once asked about a language school on behalf of a friend who was about to accept an offer for them, and this was in a language school. This was in a Facebook group for language teachers in Spain, and post got deleted because apparently, like, they do not like it when teachers ask for reviews and ask for opinions regarding certain language schools. I don't agree with it, but it's just like those are the rules. So I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, that is also something that you can do. And now the fourth way of finding out whether a school is good or not would be to ask your colleagues, ask your friends, ask people within the industry. So if you want to, let's say, if you want to work in Buenos Aires and you don't know anyone in Buenos Aires, there's always someone who may know about someone. So for example, when I was working in Cordoba, in Argentina, I remember talking to a co-worker of mine, and we were talking about something about language schools, and then I mentioned this one language school, which I'm not going to say which one, but I mentioned the name of this language school, and basically what she told me was like that was one of the worst, lots of stress, low pay, management was basically inexistent, among various red flags. And the only way I found out about that was because she knows someone who has worked there. She has a friend who has worked there, and that's how she knew. So it may not be a friend you know, but a friend of a friend. And sometimes a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. And it goes on and on and on. And that's all for today. Make sure to watch these videos next, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I'll see you there.